Welcome back, everyone. So today we've got another special guest with us. We've got Leon Constantine joining us. Leon's been around the block, to say the least, didn't you, Leon? I could go through and list all
About
your
two or
clubs,
three,
mate.
4 times, I think. Yeah.
I could go through and list all your clubs, but I'll just list a couple. Obviously, you started at Milwall. You've gone through, played for Port Vale, Leeds United, which is obviously the main one because everyone knows who watches and listens to this that's what I'm about, mate. But yeah, like amongst other clubs. But we kindly had Sebastian Carroll on a few weeks back, and he put us in contact with you. So we're gonna go through and have a chat to yourself about your career, mate. So
yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, no, it's pleasure. Like I said, Sebi was, spoke very highly of it, and it's funny. I was getting to the stage where I was like, you know what, am I really going to do anymore? Do you know what I mean? And I literally I've just been talking about it with my mate, and he was like, I was like, you know what, I'm feeling the same way. Just keep going and saying the same things on different platforms, but I think it's good to get out there sometimes, and I do enjoy doing them. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Oh, brilliant. No, we really appreciate you coming on, mate, and talking about it, especially like you said, if you rehash stuff over and over on other platforms, we do appreciate you sort of suffering us and going through it again. Just to start off, we start off on a slightly different route. I just got a list of a couple of questions that we go through with all of our guests just to sort of get to know them a bit better. So the first one is, who was your childhood hero?
Childhood hero? In terms of football?
In terms of anything, mate. It could be like your mum or dad, or a sporting hero, or whatever route, really.
Yeah, I'd say my mum. My mum was like my hero, purely because of how hard she had to work to fend, with 3 kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's a completely different era now. What she had to do, in order to provide, was amazing. Do you know what I mean? And she brought us up with so much discipline that, we could always stand on our own 2 feet.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And I get all my drive and my hustle from my mum because it says she's been on the go, since I was a baby. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
But she installed a lot of good values in us as kids, and to this day the respect is there. She hasn't aged. She's still going strong. So yeah, she's a real good woman, man.
That's blinding. I did actually see a little bit of her on your video promoting your academy.
On YouTube,
yeah. Where she's on that. She comes across brilliantly.
Yeah. She didn't want to be on there. She didn't want to be on. She oh God, she was going on. I was like, listen, you just got to do it. You know what I mean? So, in the end, she couldn't stop talking.
Once you started her off, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant. The second one is, what's your worst habit?
Wow. My worst habit?
Clean as a whistle. Look, you ain't got
that.
Do you know what? I think a habit that I've got, which I would wish I didn't have, is clicking my fingers.
Oh,
I'll do that and all. Yeah.
Oh my God, man! I've been doing it. People say, "Oh, you're gonna get arthritis." I'm like,
is it a myth? Is that a myth?
It is a myth.
Air pocket.
Well, you know what it is? I used to watch. You know what it is? I used to watch a lot of martial art films when I was a kid, and Bruce Lee used to click every single. You know what I mean? He was suppose he passed away, didn't he? But I mean, he was as strong as an ox, weren't he, in these days? So
what did he do that and then just kill over?
Be careful, many. He got cocky with it.
Oh mate, he could click anything, man.
Love that. Third one is, what's your biggest fear?
Biggest fear. I think my biggest fear would be losing my family, man.
Too right, yeah.
My family and you know, the few good friends that you have in this world, which are few and far between. But I think that would be my biggest fear. Do you know what I mean? My children. Do you know what I mean? I know people. It happens every day. You know, just of recent. You know, with Ashley Kane. I don't know if you've seen.
Terrible, mate.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean?
Man.
The tears that I've shed over that situation, you would have thought it was my child. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's horrible to witness, isn't it?
My missus has been through it. And I still see the pain in her eyes. Do you know what I mean? And it's years down the line. It's I wish it on like I ain't got no enemies, but if I did have any enemies, I wouldn't even wish it on them. Like it's it's undescribable, mate. I think that is my biggest fear.
Yeah, I'd echo that, to be fair, mate.
Mm.
And fourth one is, which team do you support?
Arsenal, unfortunately.
We've actually, one of our regulars is a Gooner, and I think he's not coming on tonight. I think he's just sulking really after last night.
He said he's sick. He said he's sick, mate, but I think that might be from last night.
Yeah, mate, listen, they can do it to you, man.
What was your thoughts on last night then, mate?
Just terrible, mate, from start. I mean, it's just terrible, mate. Just like the club's just like I just don't know the club anymore. Like, I mean, it's not even about, you know, the winning the trophies and the doing this and doing that. It's about just competing. Like, you know, Arsenal, you used to sit down and enjoy watching an Arsenal game, win or lose.
Well, even as a neutral, mate, I used to like growing up, and even like in the early 2000s, I used to watch the Arsenal games because they were good fun to watch.
Yeah, of course. You know? I watch them now, and I swear to God, like, you know, how can I describe what watching Arsenal's like? I've got a good one. Watching Arsenal, yeah, it's like me having an hour conversation with my ex. And anyone that knows the situation on that side will know exactly what I mean.
Oh, I love that, Leon. That's brilliant, mate.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how bad it is right now.
God.
It
sums it up, doesn't it?
Literally.
Thoughts are with you, Arsenal fans.
We need it.
Yeah, big time, mate.
But I still support the club. Like,
100%.
It's my club. Do you know what I mean? But you go through the good times, you go through the bad times. But
it's part of
these bad times, you know.
It's unrecognisable at the minute, isn't it? It's just not.
Yeah. No, I mean, just there's no identity there. Like I said, you know, you look at the characters at the club. Where are those characters? Not like I just don't understand it.
Yeah, there isn't any, is there?
Do you know what I mean?
It says it all when like your captain is disinterested as well. Like
to be honest with you, I feel sorry for the guy. Like,
yeah, I do as well.
Do you know what I mean? Every minute he's just working on. Do you know what I mean? It's like that dog that goes to the meat market at the end of the night, hoping, you know, you might just get a few scraps. Like, you never ever get a full meal. Do you know what I mean? It's always, you know what I mean? It's like, seriously. It's like every meal he gets, he's got to share it. Like, you've seen hyenas when they eat?
Oh, yeah.
There's 20 of them on one bit of bone. And that's what, you know what I mean? Like, the guy's done wonders. to do what he's done in that team.
It's a miracle he scored the goals he has, really.
Seriously, I feel sorry for that. And he must be disheartened. He must be thinking to himself, why did I sign that deal? I knew what was happening. Why did I do it? And I don't blame the guy.
Yeah. No, you are. It's true, actually. You've got a good point on it. Yeah, 100%, mate.
Not even Harry Kane will score goals in that team. And that's saying something.
He's a gooner and all.
Exactly, but he wouldn't score goals in that team. No chance.
Yeah, there's no service, is there? There's no creativity there.
Seriously, it's like the flipping old school 76 bus. You miss one and it takes about 45 minutes for the next one to come. Like, it's just a joke, man. Literally.
It's a nightmare. And the last one before we get into your career, mate, is Seb might have even told you about this one because we stitched him up with it. Marmite, do you love it or hate it?
Hate it.
Oh no.
Hate it.
Oh, he's on your side, Greg.
Rotten stuff.
Mate, anyone that likes Marmite, I don't trust them.
I better leave then. So.
Wait, if you see the video of Seb.
No, I ain't.
Oh, you should get him to send you it. Oh my day.
I'll message you the link after. It's we whacked it on our YouTube because Seb had never heard of it. So we asked him and he's like, Marmite, look, what's that? So trying to describe Marmite is a hard enough job in itself. And I'm like, trying to fucking describe it to him. But then I was like, right, I'll tell you what, I'll send you some. And he's like, I'll go and buy it. And we ended up doing both. So I posted him some and he ended up buying some anyway. And he was like, I said, film yourself trying it and send it to me. So he did. Fair play to him. He filmed himself eating it, mate. And it's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious.
God.
He's like, what the fuck is this, man?
That's exactly what the fuck is this? That's how he talks as well.
What is it? He said he's like, who would eat this? What's the point of this?
Yeah.
He's like,
he went straight
it's
for the
true
top.
though. I just don't. I mean, listen, mate. The businessman behind that who got that pass in order to be stocked in shops all over the world, mate, unbelievable, man. Unreal.
oh, mate.
I guarantee you, if I went into Dragons Den now with a pitch on how to sell Marmite, mate, I'd be out of there. You know what I mean?
For that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. Everyone would be out.
It's mad, isn't it? I must admit, like growing up, I hated the stuff, but I fucking love it now. I can't get enough of it. Proper love it. It's mental. And I'm angling for a sponsor with them. That's why I throw that in every time. Fucking, oi, Marmite.
Mate, they should be knocking on your door. You must be the only one.
Yeah, exactly. Love that. But yeah, so let's get into your career anyway, Liam. So first things first, obviously growing up in Hackney.
Yeah,
getting into football like that. How early of an age did you sort of get the bug?
Oh, to be honest with you, I think I love football from the day I could walk.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, definitely, as you get older into like junior school, I always remember all of us around the flats, you could be like just standing talking and then one person would shout goals and everyone would just run. Like you jump over the banisters. Many a time I've tripped over, like tried, because everybody, there's a certain goal, everyone wanted that goal for some reason. They're all the same, but everyone wanted a specific goal. So you used to run to see who could get to that goal first and used to play like, you know what I mean? One goal and off, things like that. But they were happy times, like, do you know what I mean? In fact, where Match of the Day were doing their filming, before Match of the Day,
yeah, the scene, yeah,
this scene where it's like in a certain kind of that's exactly where it was. They dismantled of it being a football pitch and turned it into a flipping florist.
No way.
It's
crazy, isn't it? They are some of the best times, though, aren't they? Growing up doing things like that, it's sort of
mate,
with you as well.
Yeah, it was. you're free, just, it was just good. Really good times, good memories. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And what was your first club? Like where you sort of started to sort of think, I could maybe do this.
That's the thing. It wasn't really a situation where,
because you came into it late, didn't you?
Yeah, I come into it late. But are you talking like Sunday League or?
Well, yeah, like any of that sort of like amateur level as such, where you sort of.
Well, I went. You see, back in the day, if you was a good player, you play for your district. That was a given. After that, you then play for London. After you play for London, do you know what I mean? Whatever team you would be playing for, scouts will mostly come and watch those teams. You know what I mean? And our Sunday team, which was Westwood Boys and Bloomsbury Boys, which is a midweek team, we used to play in the midweek league over Holborn, a place called Coram Fields. So those two teams there, we used to win everything. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I got scouted by Watford.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I didn't get scouted. You see, like now, I can see in kids, like you can see in parents, when their kid gets scouted, they think they're going all the way. They're gone. They think they've hit the jackpot. Do you know what I mean?
Very few make
in
it.
In our day, your parents didn't ever think you would be a footballer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was always, because who did you know? No one. We didn't know anyone that was footballers. Do you know what I mean? Now it's everywhere. You can walk down the road, you see it on social media, the dream's there for you to see, the reality's there for you to see. But in our day, it was just like, you play football, you're good at it, cool, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
You might go somewhere, you might not.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah, it's mad how time sort of changed that outlook, isn't it? I see you played for Malden Vale as a young with Range Park Vale now.
Is that what it's called now?
Yeah, they merged with Range Park. So they're Range Park Vale now. Like, was you Clinton Morrison and that were there as well? Was you? Because I think you were a year or two older.
Yeah. So I went to Malden Vale after my team, that Westwood Boys.
Yeah.
After they kind of we'd won everything. You start getting to that age where teams start to, disintegrate.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then one of my boys used to play for that team. He went to Malden Vale first. And then he just kind of brought all the boys who he thought were decent. And then, I went there. I played for a guy called Jeff Ray.
All right, yeah.
And he was a multi-millionaire.
No way.
And we used to train at his house. He had them days that I'm telling my mum this guy's a millionaire. My mum's like, you don't know what a million is. And I'm like, well, I know I don't know what a million is, but I know someone that's rich. And this guy is rich, you know what I mean? And literally, he had like a tennis court in his house. He had his own boot room.
No way.
Them days, it was like if you had Puma Kings and Copa Mondials, you were mustard. You know what I mean? You were the man. Like, he had a load of them. And he had like a weights room.
Bloody hell.
A swimming pool, jacuzzi, sauna. Every room had, I think, had 9 bedrooms. Every room had Sky. And he had a little 5-a-side football pitch at his house. So when we got to the final, my mum come. It's the first time, because all the way in Surrey, so she never used to come. Do you know what I mean? And she came to the final, and we all went back to the house because we won. And when she got there, the electric gates open. She just stood there like, do you know what I mean?
Told you,
Can't believe it. I told her. But yeah, that team there was ridiculous. I thought Westwood Boys were good, but that team was on another level.
Really?
And we went to the Isle of Wight tournament, which is where all the top teams go, and we got all the way to the final without conceding a goal.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. And then we won the final 6-1.
Absolutely.
Like literally
bossed it.
just smashed everyone from pillar to post, you know. But like, yeah, you know, we had a groundsman. I think he used to scout for Chelsea as well. I always remember one time Chelsea were traveling somewhere, so all the players parked their cars at his house, and we went, and it was unbelievable. And yeah, so when we used to go to get, like, we had all the Chelsea kits. Remember the red and white one, the kind of check. Yeah, we had that. We had like, do you know what I mean? We had a groundsman, like,
that's mental, isn't it?
That was unheard of. Sunday league football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Our pitch, if you turned up and there was dog mess on it, then cool. It's crack
standard, yeah.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean?
Get the shovel out, lads.
Yeah,
get the shovel out, get the old cone and try and lift it up. That was it.
It's so true. We've all done it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
what I mean? So yeah, it was a different league, different level.
So what age was that, Leon?
That would have been under 15s, I think. Under 14, under 15s, I think.
So what happened with Watford? Nothing? Like, you just got an offer?
No,
or?
I went to Watford. We was going to, like, at the time, it would have been like a development centre, I believe, because they had, like, we were based over Brent Cross. So, you know, there's a guy, you know, I still speak to this guy today, you know, one of the most decorated people in football, you know, should be given a medal for what he's done for youngsters and supporting them. But a guy called Carl Dixon, absolute legend. You know, he's spotted every single player coming out of Hackney, Islington, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, he used to take us to training. You know, and then after, if you know, the ones they liked, they went on to Aylesbury, which was the main academy. But then when we went to Aylesbury, after a while, I was the only one that was going. And we'd got followed home one day on the train. And my mum said, like, you're not going back there again. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really enjoying it because I went there. No one really knew who I was. Yeah. It's like we were starting all over again. And then I just, that was it. I just sacked it off.
Fair play, mate. And then, so, like, you obviously were playing football this whole time, but it took until the age of 22 until, like, you got your go in professional football with Milwall. How did that come about? Because was you training with Charlton or on trial with Charlton beforehand?
So I went to Charlton the first time when I was about 18.
Yeah.
I was playing Sunday league football, but men's football.
Right.
And I was smashing in goals left, right, and centre. And some Charlton scout was like, you know, because I was the youngest boy in the team, you see. And then there was like, you know what, we need to get you to Charlton. So I went into Charlton. But at the time I was going college. So I think I was 18, going college. I was doing a BTEC in media.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into Charlton, done really well. They wanted me to come back. And I was doing work experience with at the BBC with Black Britain. And it clashed with the trial date. And I just chose to go. If I didn't do the work experience, I wouldn't have passed the course. And I spent 2 years on it. Do you know what I mean? So, and then the mistake I made, Kevin Lisby, good friend of mine, he was like, look, Lee, Keith Peacock has asked me to give you his number and wants you to call him. So I was like, yeah. And I didn't call him. I was too scared. Do you know what I mean? Because I just felt like, what am I going to say? I can't go because I've got to do this work experience. And then, I just didn't, that was it. Didn't go back. And then I started working in Marks and Spencer's part-time. I was there for like 5 years. And then I realised I didn't want to do this no more. And then I went and found a semi-pro team Edgware Town, and again, I think I hit like 38 or 40 goals or something like that, and then went back to Charlton again, but this time they was in the Premier League. So
right. Was it Kirbishley?
Yeah. So all of them was there. Scott Parker, Jason Yule, Ricardo Fuller, but he was injured. Clive Mendonca, Lisby, John Fortune, Paul Kucheski.
They had a good side then, didn't they?
Graham Stewart.
Unbelievable side. Yeah. Graham Stewart, John Robinson.
Yeah.
Stuart Brand. Like literally the team was really, really good.
Yeah.
But I was there and they looked after me, to be fair. They looked after me really, really well. And I got injured. While on trial, and they gave me treatment and, gave me a tracksuit to go to games and all this kind of stuff. Oh, Chris Powell was there.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Richard
Parley,
Rufus as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Richard Rufus. Yeah, he was there. And then Parley was like, look, you need to go upstairs and go and get your contract, man. You've done enough. And Keith Peacock pulled me and said, look, Lee, you've come in and you've kind of embarrassed our defenders that we hope's going to keep us in the Premier League. But we need someone that's going to go into our first team. And I've just come from Edgware Town in Wyman 1, whatever it might well been. Do you know what I mean? So, it just didn't work out. But during that time at Charlton, I played against Milwall and obviously, showed enough that Milwall inquired to Charlton what the situation is, and I ended up going down to Milwall.
It's mad how often that happens, isn't it? Like sort of someone you play against, all of a sudden they tap up them players. And
I say to players now, without sounding, horrible, you're not trying to impress the team you're playing for, because there's a reason why you're playing for that team, because you already know what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the team you're playing against, because that might be your next move.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good bit of advice, mate, because it happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100. Half of my career is why I've ended up at so many clubs, because I've done something where they're like, right, okay, it's not, something's gone wrong for whatever reason.
So you got to look at it as a benefit. As a bonus,
yeah.
really.
So
people everyone,
try and people say, "Oh, journeyman." I'm like, I just look at it as just clubs. Someone's seen. Yeah, exactly. So that's it.
Too right, mate. Yes, 100%.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, it is as well. And like you said, Millwall came in for you and like off Charlton sort of say so and whatever. One thing I've heard you mention, and I wanted to sort of bring out, like, did you have an agent at that time? Because I've heard that your agent was Eric Hall, who was the same as Nicky Forster we had on a previous...
I had Eric way down the line.
I was going to say, was he already on board or not?
Way down the line. Way. And the only reason why I done that is because I eat in a place in Bethnal Green, a cafe called Pelici's, which is like, it's nationwide. It's not really well known. It got its name really from the Cray twins eating in there.
Right.
And then every single wannabe villain, but a lot of actors, a lot of actresses, a lot of, powerful people within the music industry, film industry. It's just one of those cafes. It's a family-run business, and I eat in there all the time. And he used to eat in there, and we got introduced, and we went. But that didn't last long, to be honest with you.
Was he no good for you then? Because Nicky Forster sort of sang his praises. He was with him for years, and it surprised me really because
the game changed, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like
old school.
With him, it's like, do you know when you go to that house and it's still got, that wallpaper with velvet on it, what people used to have.
Yeah.
And you're like, mate, you need to move on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to change up a little bit. He was one of them. He was a beast in his day, but the game moved on, and his style and technique just wasn't going to be tolerated.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It changes so quick as well, doesn't it? The game. It's easy to be sort of left behind. During it. But so I just had a little glance over some of the players at Milwall when you went there as well, mate. They had some set of a squad there, didn't they? Like your Timmy Cahills, your Lucas Neal, Stephen Reeves.
The best team in the club's history.
Yeah.
They'll never have that. They will never have that. That array of players.
So many good players.
Unbelievable. Neil Harris.
Paul Eiffel there as well.
Yeah, Paul Eiffel. Christoph Kinnett. Like you said, Tim Cahill, Stephen Reed, Tony Warner,
bonus.
Richard Sadler, Steve Claridge, Paul Moody.
So many good players, isn't it? It's crazy.
Oh, mate, like.
And when you, sorry, mate, when you went in there, like, there was quite a lot of other like youngsters as well that were floating about the team. One of them, Cherno Samba. We
he
covered him on
playing youth. He was youth team. And there was a lot of talk about him being the next big thing. I feel loads of clubs like Arsenal, Liverpool. It was always which one he was going to go to.
How good was he at that age?
He was a good player. He's definitely a good player because he was well balanced.
Yeah.
Well balanced. You know what I mean? For a young kid, when you look back on it now, he was well balanced and could handle the ball and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
but it's a surprise he didn't go on to much bigger things.
Yeah, it's mad how it happens, isn't it? Because you mentioned him before, Greg, didn't you?
Oh yeah, he was touted.
Yeah,
Liverpool. I think we're willing to pay $1 million or so at 16, which was unheard of at the time. And it's like, and then
I think Millwall, there was a lot of Millwall have always had good players though. They just never stay at the club. But if you talk to most players, they've had a stint at Millwall. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, it's one of them. A lot of people pass through there, didn't they?
Yeah, like Leon Court, another guy went on to have a great career.
It's Carl's brother, wasn't he?
Yeah, Carl Court's brother, and Leke Adunsi.
Yeah.
He was meant to go to United.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. Oh, mate, this boy.
I remember he was touted and all. Yeah.
Yeah, Byron Bub. He was playing first team when I got there. He was playing first team at 16, 17 or something like that. Ridiculous.
It's crazy, isn't it? To be at that level at that age is just insane.
Yeah. Then Ronnie Ball. Then you had Peter Sweeney, who
he came to Leeds and all, didn't he?
Unbelievable. This kid, yeah. Oh God.
Left-footed, wasn't he?
Left-footed. He's left-footed is like a bloody wonder. I tell you, what this boy could do with a football. Yeah, he's close control and turn the pace and man, he could have done so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you had him, you had Charlie Hearn, you had Marvin Elliott, Goma. There was so much players at Millwall, so many.
Crazy, isn't it? The amount of names, sort of.
Even Dave Kitson come in there and couldn't get anything, and look what he went on to do in his career.
He was lethal, wasn't he? Yeah.
We had Steve McFell. Steve McFell came on loan to us.
Did he really? What, from Leeds?
Yeah, from Leeds. That's when we knew Leeds was paying big money because he come into training. One day he come in a 330 BMW. Then he came in with an M3, and then he come in with an ML Mercedes Jeep. I was like, mate, we're in what the hell is going on up there?
How many cars you got, mate?
Do you know what I mean? I'm still getting a lift in.
That's incredible, isn't it? It's a lift, Steve.
You're still waiting for that bus in fucking Hackney.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You know what I mean?
Wow. How good was he as well? Because like he was one of them players as a Leeds fan when he come through. I had higher hopes for him than pretty much any of that crop, like that come through at the time. And I think he was sort of a victim of being around in the wrong era or even the wrong country, because he'd have probably been on the continent more.
I don't know who organised these moves to Milwall, but that was the worst thing they could have done for him, because he was a player.
Yeah.
Right? Milwall, we were bulldozers. We bulldozed our way through everybody. Like, do you know what I mean?
He was a Rolls Royce, wasn't he?
You had Reedy, who was obviously technically, I mean, I still to this day, I've not seen a man that could drive the ball like Stephen Reed. He could ping a ball 20 yards, knee height. Like standard.
He was class act, wasn't
he? Yeah, his ping was ridiculous. But he was also a physical player, so he'd get around the pitch, he'll crunch. I mean, Timmy, get on the end of things, cross his headers. Do you know what I mean? We weren't really a footballing team like that.
Yeah.
So, training, Dyche and Sean Dyche and Stuart Nethercott and Matty Lawrence and Robbie Ryan, those guys were just helping it down the line. So, like, pause, like, for a player like Matt Felt, like, come on,
he's
man.
Like offering,
do you know what I
mean? Poor sod.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's looking to get the ball to feet. He's like this guy like that.
His neck muscles grew in them years, didn't it?
Oh, blimey.
Poor fucker. And then, like, in your time at Milwall, you only ended up managing 2 first team appearances. Was it Mark McGee was the gaffer at the time?
Yeah, he's a cunt, mate. Proper cunt he is, man.
That's what I was going to get at. I was going to say opinions.
I won't even mix my words, man. He's a cunt, mate. Seriously.
Was he that?
One of those why. Listen, mate, you come across people.
Like...
Yeah, well, this is the thing, yeah. So I signed under Keith Stevens and Alan McCleary, right? They said to me, look, you need to get used to this environment, day-to-day training, and I might have just come from Ryman 1. Do you know what I mean? Train one evening, play on a Saturday. So now I'm training Monday to Friday, game on a Saturday, or have the Wednesday off, wherever it might well be. And I'm doing all right. And they said, look, maybe 6 months, get yourself in the gym and things like that. You might be ready, to be involved with the first team. So I was like, okay, no problem. I think they got the sack within weeks or a month of me being there, right? And it was hard. I always remember it because he gave a speech to the team to say that he was, no longer going to be there. And like, it was painful because they were Millwall players and Millwall at heart. And it hurt. Like, not many managers love clubs the way they love the club. It's a job, you get sacked, you're just thinking about where's my next job, do you know what I mean? But these guys were Millwall through and through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I always remember the pain in his eyes. I think he actually was crying when he was talking to the lads. And I was like, I'd never seen that before. So it was weird. But Mark McGee come in, and I think the first team game he watched, we lost 5-0 at home to Ipswich, which was just great. The den was going. I was sitting there thinking, hell no, would I like to be on that pitch?
Don't bring me on.
Do you know what I mean? Because I remember when I signed and I went there on the bus. I'm not on the bus, on the train from London Bridge, and I was just trying to just look like I weren't scared, because I was like, I'm on the train with all these. I was thinking, mate, I'm just about to sign for you guys. I do not want no problems. Do you know what I mean?
Don't bash me up.
Yeah, I mean, but it's an intimidating place. So that when I saw the goals were going in and the crowd was going crazy, I was like, wow. Then what do you call it? He come and watched these first reserve game, which was us against Gillingham away, and us scored and played really well. And they used to do that one where they put the team sheet up, you know, on the notice board, and you know, he used to always say, check the team sheet, you never know. You know, like those that were in the bomb squad, you should just don't even look. They already know they're not in this. Yeah, I mean. So anyway, I walked past. I thought, you know what? I'm new in this game, so I used to check it all the time, even though I knew I weren't going to be involved. And I checked it. I saw my name was on there. I was like, what? I was like, this is not meant to happen. So then, travel to Peterborough, and what he used to do, like the boys said, what he would do, he'd pick the player that's not involved, like the 18th man. Do you know what I mean? And when he did that, it weren't me, and I was like, wow. I'm on the bench. I was nervous. I was thinking, mate, these guys told me 6 months. This is happening within a month. What's going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I come on against Peterborough. We've beaten Peterborough, I think 4-0, 3-4-0 or something like that. So, you know, he's told me to go and warm up. I've warmed up on my own now. You know, all the Peterborough supporters were doing monkey noises at me. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, and then... But all the Milwall supporters were cheering me. And I was thinking, wow.
And had you not played for them yet as well?
Nah.
Oh, that's quality.
Yeah, so I was like, wow. So I felt settled. My nerves went down. And then when I come on the pitch, I just thought, make sure your first touch is right. Do you know what I mean? And I was going to, you know, when there's a throw-in and someone throws it. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? Should I just give it back to him and keep it simple? And I thought, you know what? Control it. I dropped the shoulder, cut inside 2 players, and then I got sandwiched. But that tackle, like all the nerves, when I was ready now. I was like, you know what? I'm in a game now. I'm here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, nearly scored in the game as well. I think Lucas Neal gave me the ball and I had a shot. It just went over the bar. I thought, you know, for a debut, I was happy with it. You know? Mate, never got near the first team again.
Mental, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be in the squad, I'd be on the bench. I was top goal scorer for the reserves. I think every season I was there. Wow. And he just push other people, like, do you know what I mean? And then
like you, obviously.
Yeah, he didn't like, I don't know. I was training with the first team when I got there. Yeah. And then he obviously, because Neil Harris mentioned to me about would I go on loan, and I was like, huh? What are you talking about? I didn't know about loan or nothing like that at that time. And he's like, so he'd already had that conversation with Mark McGee. So Mark McGee's talking about my career with someone else,
another player as well.
Yeah, right. You know, and then and listen, I'm not saying I should be playing at Milwall because Neil Harris was on another level. Like he was like doing stuff. I was just sitting there scratching my head sometimes. You know what I mean? But I should have been on the bench.
Especially if you've been given that opportunity and done all right. It's not like you've...
Yeah. And I was always training well. Like, I was always, like, in with training and, you know, the boys always respected me. They never, you know, people weren't looking at me thinking, fucking all these shit. Like, people were like, you know, like, grab it. That's why me and Tim Cale were such good friends. Like, you know, we had respect for each other. So, so anyway, I went on loan to Leyton Orient. He's called me. I'm at home in Bromley by Bow at the time. I was living in East London, and he's called me on the Saturday morning and said, "Oh, you know, I think you know there's a club where you go on loan." I was like, "Okay, Leyton Orient." I was like, "Oh, whoa, well, that's down the road from me." But you see, the thing is, they want you to come there today. He says, "Right, all the paperwork." I was like, "What?" So I went down there. I just met them. I met all my teammates on the day.
Wow.
But played the game, got man of the match. We drew 0-0, got man of the match. Then I scored in my next game, I think I scored in the next 3 games, I think it was. And I was doing really, really well. And then the manager said, like, look, you know, we want to sign you. How would you feel about coming here? And I was like, well, look, I'm enjoying playing. It's round the corner from where I'm living. And yeah, like, yeah, I'd be happy to come here. Anyway, he said, look, Milwall don't want to sell you. We've offered them 30 grand. They bought me for 20. And then he started like, he put some, I don't know, he put it on a website or something like that, but something about, you know, Leon's the future of this club and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah. So
Just to
when I
get more
went back
money,
to
mate.
I went back to Milwall, I was buzzing now. I'm buzzing like to be back. All the boys are buzzing that I've scored 3 goals, you know, my first career goals
Yeah.
in professional football. Go to train as normal. You guys go and told me to train with the kids.
What the fuck?
So I said, why am I training with the kids for? He goes, well, you got to earn it. I said, so what the fuck have I been doing for a month? At that time, I didn't know to be tactful at that time. So, do you know what I mean? So I was like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I trained with the kids, and then I came back to the first team, and then what was happening, because the first team, us guys like the reserves, so like people like me, Lake, Adunsi, Byron Bub, Leon Court, did I say Lucas Nil? Yeah,
Yeah.
like we were called Dave Tuttle. We were called the bomb. Yeah, we were called the bomb squad. So we're the ones that basically weren't in Bobby Bowery, Michael Jilks. So we used to play against the first team, do team shape and all that. And we used to smash them every week, right? So what happened now? He just got the youth team to do team shape against the first team, and then pied us over in the corner. So we called ourselves the bomb squad.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean?
That's unreal.
Yeah.
How does he get away with that? Like, and what, he wouldn't even talk to you as in, like, you know, why?
Nah.
Fucking weird.
Listen, mate. Listen.
To be a manager at that level.
I tell you what he done, right? He had me in his office because at the time, the agents that I that got me in there, I don't know what happened with our relationship. I don't know what kind of. I think they got me in and they just kind of left me there. So I was using the PFA, and he had me in the office one time. The office used to be on top, like where you could look over the training ground.
Oh yeah.
And he's gone to me. Yeah, he goes, look, Lee, you've got a future here. This kid over there, he's getting released. That one's getting released, and he's pointing at 5, 6 players. And I'm like sitting there thinking, I don't want to know this because I've got to train with these guys. I can't say nothing to them because that's not right.
What are you doing next week, Lee? Well, you're not going to be here, bruv. Don't worry.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to know what a next man's fate is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he said to me, look, the reason why I'm telling you this because you've got a future here. So I was like, okay, cool. I like that then. Do you know what I mean? Next minute, he said to me, yeah, look, you know, I know you're using the PFA. I think it's Bobby Barnes. And he said, like, yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna have a meeting and everything like that. And 1 week went by, 2 weeks went by. Oh yeah, I was busy. Oh yeah, next week. And then last game of the season, last training session, he released me.
Oh my God, man. What is he doing?
He released me.
Just like, I never understand this. Like when we've had players on that have had similar sort of situations, just be fucking honest. Like if you don't fancy someone,
mate,
just
you're
tell
looking
him.
for honesty, mate. Don't go anywhere near football, man. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
it's true, isn't it?
It's full of snakes, man. Full of them. Like, do you know what I mean? There's only a few people who, and the thing is, you know, when people are honest with you, like say, look, you're not in my plans, you know, go on loan, go and do well, change my mind for me. Like you take that all day long.
You can swallow that, yeah, you can go fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? You know, you look at like Pep, you know, Guardiola. Look at John Stones.
Exactly.
You know, he was on his way out. But he's obviously got his head down, trained hard. He's changed the manager's mind. Now look.
He might win the fucking Champions League in a couple of weeks' time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And back in the national
regardless
team.
of whether they win it or not, he will get This has been his most stand-up season.
He's been immense.
And do you know what? He's made mistakes, but no one don't remember those little mistakes, like the one for England and all that, because all you remember, is the solid defending
season.
Yeah,
it's true.
That he's done. And I'm happy for him because you know what it is? He just shows he could be sitting there spitting his dummy out. He's a multi-millionaire already. He could be spitting his dummy out. He's just got his head done what he's had to do, got himself back into the team, and do you know what I mean? He almost just signed another deal down there. Bob's your uncle.
It's a lot of character from him to do it and all.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when you're at that elite level, you know, you have got an ego. I should be playing. Like, if I'm not playing, I could go. I mean, look, let's have it right. If he decides to leave Man City, he ain't going to be struggling to find a club. You know what I mean?
It's true, isn't it?
You know, so yeah. But yeah, that Mark McGee, mate. And I'm not the only one. And, you know, there's a lot of players of my complexion who have the same feelings, you know what I mean?
Wow. It's fucking it's terrible, really, isn't it? Like, and to think the guys had like a long career in the game doing it as well.
But you know what it is? No one don't like. He was mostly Millwall's most successful manager. Nearly getting back-to-back promotion, just missing out on the Premier League, lost to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Crowd turned, they didn't like, because, you know what I mean? I think they could see.
Yeah, there's things going on there that like you can see through it, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking really odd, mate. So then obviously we've gone to you being released, even though you was in their plans. And gone on to Brentford, where you hooked up with Wally Downs.
Oh, mate.
What was Wally like as a gaffer?
The name speaks for itself, doesn't it?
He's a bit of a madman, isn't he, Wally?
Crazy, mate. Crazy. I mean, he brought me into Brentford, right? Because this is what I mean. I trained hard at Milwall, and God rest his soul, Ray Harford put in a good word for me.
Was he at Milwall? What time was he?
Yeah. He's the one that got Lucas into Blackburn.
Oh, bloody yeah, because he was Blackburn when they was in the Prem, wasn't he? Like mid-90s.
He won the league. He was a legend.
Yeah.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
But he saw what was going on. And he knew I weren't a bad kid. I was just a kid from the streets, just got an opportunity, trying to, you know, learn and, you know, maneuver through this professional game, you know what I mean? So yeah, I got down to Brentford, and this guy brought me in. I'm on trial, you know, and I kept myself a contract. And then he said to me, "Oh, I've not brought you here to play reserves, you know, Leon. Yeah, you've done well, blah, blah, blah. We're going to sign you. But there's a reserve game coming up. It's an option. Do you want to play or do you not?" So in my head, I'm thinking, is he testing me?
Yeah.
So I've gone, you know what? I'll play. Show good attitude, as you do. I've played in the game. I've scored an absolute worldie. Right? I remember scoring, and I just looked up at the sky and I thought, thank fuck for that. I'm here. I've landed. I played reserves for the rest of the season.
Oh my God. How's your luck?
Played reserves for the rest of the season. Come on the pitch. I was sub. Come on the pitch for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Me and Rowan Vine, you know, one of my good pals, we used to destroy it in training.
He's a character, old Viney, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, to be fair. He never tried us once up front as a pairing.
Really?
Not once. Even the assistant manager, is it Gary Thompson, old Bristol Rovers manager? Black manager I was.
Can't remember.
Gary Thompson. Anyway, he was like, I don't know what you've done to him. He just don't want to you just don't like. And I was like, what is going on here?
Did you almost like? Is it like they wanted you to kick up more of a stink to sort of
Well, this is what I'm thinking, because sometimes I speak to people and they're like, like
throw your toys out the pram.
I speak to my mate, Darren Curry.
Oh, mate, yeah. Tony Curry's boy. What a player.
What a player he was, by the way.
He was quality, mate. He could have gone further, I think.
Oh, mate, listen. Anyway, right?
He's at Sheffield now, and he coach there.
Yeah. I think under 23s.
That's it, yeah.
23s, yeah. And I was speaking to him one time when he was at the Barnet job, and I went down there and we had a good talk in the office and things like that. And he was saying to me, you know what, Leon, mate? If I'm not playing, I want to know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want an explanation. And if the explanation ain't good enough, I'm off.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I did the other side. I'd be off, but I never used to go in and moan.
So do you think it was like an easy option for them to do it to you then? Because you're not going to make their life difficult.
Yeah, I think so. But what it is, because I come from Hoxton, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Full of drug addicts and drug dealers and, people getting shot, knifed. There's a daily thing, do you know what I mean? And I managed to get a chance. I didn't want to ruffle no feathers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to go in and, or everyone start thinking, oh, bloody hell, that he's one of them kids. You know what I mean? I tried to keep that side of it away from football.
Yeah, because where you've come from as well, they'd probably be assuming you'd be like that.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean?
Bearing in mind,
I just wanted to keep,
You came into like the professional game late at 22. Like,
yeah.
So they would have probably thought,
why has he not got there earlier as well? Like,
well, yeah, no, but not only that either. It's like, well, you were there, you as a man. Maybe they wanted, as Terry was saying, they wanted you. And then if you're just being quiet and whatnot, it's just, yeah. Why wouldn't you go and do that? Why was that just not? Because you got your chance late. Is that why you think maybe that you didn't want
savouring it? Like,
yeah, I didn't want to, because it was surreal to get the chance. It was like
you were there, yeah, at that.
Yeah, I was like,
don't want to piss it up the wall, do you?
Do you know what I mean? And you're talking about mental health and things like that. Nah, what do you think it was like when you get released on the last day? Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm thinking I'm going back to the manor. That's
Marks and Spencer's again.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, it was just a crazy situation to be in. And like you said, you didn't want to give anyone, because at that time, do you remember, it was like, you ruffle the wrong feathers, you're out of the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100% it is like that, yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of, and I didn't want to bring the attitude to it like that. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like I was just thankful for being there. Like, you know what? Okay, cool, no problem. I'll go to another club and try and do my thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? It's weird how it works, sort of thing, really. But it's each to their own as well with the managers and what different things that they want as well, isn't it? With attitude and things like that, sort of crazy. But then after your stint there, you moved on to Southend, and I see Lakey Adunsey and Leon Court were already there. Is that
they got me in?
I was going to say, is that how it come about?
Yeah, I was training. So my dad's is Tottenham, you see.
Yeah.
So by that time now, I think I was living at my dad's, and I was training in the park with my mates every day. So I was fit, like really fit, because like I said, football's just something that we love doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Courty, because Courty was at Mill, we got treated badly as well. Lake got treated badly. Like do you know what I mean? It's no coincidence. Right? Do you know what I mean with this guy? God would deal with him anyway, man. He's got a lot to answer for, this guy, you know what I mean? And I'm being serious, I'm not even like bantering, like, he's destroying people's dreams, for no reason, just to be Do you know what I mean?
A prick.
Horrible. You know, but yeah, so they said to me to come down there, and I went down there, and I trained, and then he was like, "Whoa, yeah, you need to come back," and I went back, and then yeah, they signed me on a non-contract. But you know, even down there, they had me on this non-contract. I'm driving from Tottenham every single day. I'm not getting paid like a normal wage because I'm on a non-contract. So I was getting paid like a parent's money and win bonus, right? And it got to a stage where I was getting like all late charges in my bank and all this kind of stuff. And I said, I physically can't afford to come in. I won't get no expenses. I'm driving up every day from Tottenham.
Out of pocket.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like within a month of being there, I was top goal scorer.
Wow. Yeah, because you smashed it that season. You 25 goals.
Oh, yeah, killed it that season. Like literally, and I'm not even trying. Like I killed. Southend scored 53 goals in that season, and I got 21 of them.
Wow, it's mental, isn't it? That
Do
must have been a lovely
4
feeling for you as well. Get you sort of your first full season actual crack at it. You know what I mean? And show what you can do.
Listen, man,
and bag that amount of goals.
I was in, and I was at the club with like guys that I like that I get on with. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you think that helped, like with expressing yourself on the pitch as well, knowing that you've got your boys behind you? Really?
Well, it's not even that. They knew how I play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then we had, you know, players like Kevin Mayer, who was, you know, unbelievable midfielder. Mark Gower, you know, like a wizard.
Was Michael Kitely there and all?
Yeah, Kites was there. I was with Kites. Kites made his debut in the cup.
He was a cracking little player, he was.
Yeah, good little playing that been on. But even he got released from Southend and went non-league and went on to have a really good career. But so I was at Southend and I said, you know, I can't afford to come here no more. And then like next minute, I'm getting like ambushed at the training ground. Like, and then that's when I kind of switched. I was like, I'm not gonna let no one intimidate me. I don't mind being quiet, but you're not gonna. I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I said to him, listen, mate, I'm telling you straight, I can't afford to come here. That's it. That very same evening or the next day, I signed my contract for £500 a week. So it's like they were just trying to rinse.
Take the piss, yeah.
You know? But I think what it was with me, there was no track record of me.
Yeah.
Because when I was at Southend, I got an injury. Right? I don't even know how I done this because it might be because I was on a non-contract. That's why I was on a non-contract. But I went to play for Rushton and Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because unbeknownst to me, Brian Talbot, who was the Rushton and Diamond manager, I would have played against him for Leyton Orient when I was on loan there. So obviously he knew of me. So then he's called me, he goes, yeah, blah, blah. What's that? I said, well, I don't know what's happening there. I'm not signing the contract yet. Come to Rushton. If you do well, I'll sign you. So I went down to Rushton and then I'd had a mad pain, like a hernia. I don't know what it was to this day, but I couldn't strike a ball, couldn't do anything. I was taking, is it diazepam tablets?
Yeah, diazepam, yeah.
Right. So much that my doctor refused to give me any more prescription because he said I could develop an ulcer.
Fucking hell.
But I had to pop these because that's the only thing that was getting me through games. Wow. So I went to Rushton and we played against Nottingham Forest and Paul Hart was the manager.
Oh, yeah.
At Forest, yeah. And I was playing against Des Walker. You got to feel me. Des Walker's like my, you know, was a man I looked up like, you know, you never beat Des Walker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, legend, mate.
And I ripped Des. Obviously, you got to think Des Walker was 30 plus those days. You know what I mean? I'm a young flipping. Do you know what I mean? He's like me now, 43, trying to play against a flipping. Do you know what I mean? Just like, cheers, do me a favor.
So did you beat Des Walker?
Yeah, I beat him. I turned him in and out and banged it in and made it 1-0. right? And I was absolutely buzzing, yeah. But then I think Marlon Hayward and all them guys were playing for Forest, and they ripped us 6-1 in the end. But I played really well. And I remember walking off the pitch, and Paul Hart was like, "Who is that kid? Who is he? How come I don't know about him?"
Yeah, because you've come into it so late. You're on
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was on this kind of trying to be like not like a rude boy, but I heard him say it. And rather than just go up and say hi, like name Dion, I just carried on walking off the pitch, like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what I do, innit? Like, and that was it. And then I did well, and then obviously Talbot changed what he said. He said if I play well in that game, he'll sign me. Then it went for, look, we like what you did. We need you to train for a week.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I went to train and I couldn't physically train. Like, I was trying to do passing and I literally couldn't do it. Like, my leg, my groin was gone. And yeah, that was it. So obviously he didn't sign me. I then went back to Southend, got treatment at Southend, came back and went on and smashed the season.
It's unbelievable how all these like different doors could open, and it's
mad.
Yeah, it's a weird game, isn't it? Really, like
it's weird at that age as well. Like when you've only just sort of broken into professional football, and then all of a sudden it's back to like semi-pro where, oh, you ain't on contract, so you can come and play for this team. Or
it's crazy.
It's like you've never come out
crazy.
of that.
Yeah.
So surreal, isn't it? And then like that year, like you said, you went on and smashed it. 21 league goals, 25 in all comps, and got to Millennium Stadium.
But even with Southend, right, it's only up until maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, someone sent me a news article saying I was the first player in 30 odd years or something like that to break the 20 goal barrier.
Really?
No one's ever told. And Freddie Eastwood, who come after me, was the second.
Yeah, because he tore it up there, didn't he?
Yeah. No one said anything to me about this though. Yeah. And then
probably if they did, it was probably a clause where you'd have to get a bonus or something. So they're like,
well, yeah, exactly. And then we got to, I'm just, you know what it is? I'm an Arsenal supporter. Yeah. Now, Aubameyang's our top goal scorer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most seasons. If a DVD comes out of the season, you'd expect to see Aubameyang's face in it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because that's what you do, innit? It's like when Leeds had that season, when Jermaine Beckford had that season at Leeds, Jermaine Beckford's name was all over the place, right?
Yeah, he's on everything, yeah.
You've got a DVD, right? I'm not even on it.
What?
I'm not on it. On the front, the back, the side.
And you scored over half their goals.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
How's that happened?
And then I told to put the icing on the cake, right? When it come to contracts, and then he was keeping, I was left to loss.
It's like a fucking big wind up, isn't it?
Big wind. I jumped in my car and said, fuck this, I'm gone. Like, I've had enough of this now. I've shown good attitude. You're taking the piss. I jumped in my motor, I'm gone. I reached the roundabout. I get a call.
Yourself?
Nah, I was with base.
So and nothing
I was
still
with base.
It's mad.
It's meant like you said as well, top goal scorer. Every season, pretty much for every club, they pretty much are the man and they're the priority. Like if your top goal scorer is out of contract, you're fucking tying him up. Like I'll be tying you up on a contract in January.
Exactly. They offered me less money than what the striker who was there, that was meant to be their golden boy, number 10, who didn't do jack diddly, right? They offered me the same money that he was on at that time, and he was getting a new deal.
This is unreal,
isn't
it?
What I said, you can't. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's almost as if they're sort of punishing you for getting to it late, thinking like he'd be happy with what he's on.
Yeah.
Because he
Mate,
don't know
listen.
better. He ain't been on more or whatever. Like,
Listen, we had a training session, yeah, and there's a striker there called Drew Broughton. He was meant to be their golden boy. He does all this mental health stuff now, right? And he wore these white boots to training one time. You remember the Nike Vapor boots that Ronaldo used to wear?
yeah.
R9. Yeah, that's all I used to wear. He started wearing them. He had a white boots. He's never been a white boot man, but he decided to wear white boots. He's hitting balls. The balls are going in the other field. They're going there, they're going there, going everywhere, right? He ended up throwing the boots on the floor, right? Said, these are shit. So I was like, you know what? Let me try these on, because if I like them, I'll buy them off you, because they was all white. I didn't have those ones yet, right? Anyway, we're doing a finishing session, yeah? Mate, I'm smashing everything. All you can hear is ding, dong, dong, ding. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like percussion. You know, like, you know, when like ding, like, you know, like we play, like, you know, at the end,
Xylophone.
yeah, ding, you know? Right, so I'm like everyone's laughing, right? So the gaffer comes in at, like, you know, sit down team at the end. He starts hammering me, saying, the big man's dying for a goal. I'm gonna come down on you like a ton of bricks, because the big man's here is dying for a goal. So I said, well, if he wants a goal so badly, why don't he go and fucking score then? And I said, come down on a ton of bricks on who? I'm not scared of you.
Who
Do you know what I mean? So
which gaffer was that?
that was Steve Wignall.
Oh yeah.
Steve Wignall.
Wow. Why is it your fucking fault?
You tell me. But this is the thing. I think sometimes they think, yeah, we can take the piss. And then when they try and take the piss, like, directly, then they got to see a different side of me. Then all of a sudden, oh, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Oh, he's a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fucking. It's
I'm just
incredible.
a lovely guy. Look, we're laughing and talking. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's incredible to listen to, really, because like,
mad,
it's crazy.
It's almost like I'm in disbelief, really. It's someone like,
that's not just
DVD
one.
things,
That's
hilarious.
become 3 or 4.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Serious. This couldn't happen now.
No.
I bet. Yeah. Well, there's too much player power now as well, isn't there?
This could not happen now. Do you know what I mean? Them days just like, put up, shut up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's absolutely mental. So, like you said, you'd had enough of it there, and then moved on to Posh, Peterborough.
Yeah, went to Posh.
A league above as well, gone into League One. With Barry Fry, the gaffer.
Barry Fry, I love Barry. I still talk to Barry now, but you know what I mean? At the time, fuck it, I was like, this geezer. You brought me in here, I've scored 25 goals. Why am I not coming in as the main striker? How am I sitting down on the bench and like, God. Seriously, man, this game, I'd sometimes sit here and I'd laugh to myself. I think to myself, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's a madness, football, isn't it? It's so, the politics involved is a joke. You just think it's a simple, just pick me, I'll score you a goal. Don't worry about anything else. And it's just everything else.
Yeah, I'm a centre forward. I'll bag your goals. You go and bag goals, and they're like, oh, I don't know.
You got to remember, I've been told, like, you've done well for us. You scored at Southend. You scored a lot of goals, but you're not scoring them with your head. What the hell has that got? If I score 25 goals and it comes off my kneecap and goes in the back of the net,
it's a fucking goal, isn't it?
It's a goal, isn't it?
When you get the records and it don't say like how you've scored them. It just says
exactly. The result is that the opposition have to go to the halfway line and kick off.
Yeah.
When the ball goes in the back of the net, that's what they have to do. And that's not what they want to do. So it doesn't matter how it goes in.
No, exactly. It's madness, mate. And then at Peterborough, like you said, you've not even come in as first choice sort of thing. You ended up having to go out on loan to Torquay.
Yeah, because I played in a game. I played in a game against Leicester, who was in the Premier League, and for some reason there was a gap, and they needed a game, and we were playing them, and I think it was Matt Elliott, that big defender, and everyone that knows me knows I hate heading the ball. Like, not that I hate heading the ball. I don't like that to be the focal point of my game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't want to just be big man, knock it up to him.
If I'm in a game and I'm flicking on the ball, like literally for the first half an hour in the game, I'm gone, mate. I'm like, this is not for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even getting the ball to my feet. I'm not getting to do what I like to do, how I like to play the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm beating Matt Elliott in the air, winning flick-ons. I'm even surprised myself because I'm like buzzing. I'm like Matt Elliott is a unit.
He was a
big
beast,
guy, yeah.
Right? So he must have won one header. And I'm playing well in this game, by the way. I think I hit the bar, but from like 30 yards. Do you know what I mean? I was doing really well in this game. Premier League opposition. I'm buzzing, like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, I lost one header against Matt. It's when I heard Barry Fry say, why don't you fucking jump? So I said to him, why the fuck don't you jump?
I bet that went down well.
Do you know what I mean? And I left it at that. I was fuming, right?
I bet.
Then the next day or the day afterwards in training, he's like, Lee, you know, they're not getting opportunities there. Few clubs have come in for you to go on loan. So I think Boston, who had Steve Evans, and I thought there's no way I'm playing for him. No chance. And a few other clubs in League Two come in for me. And then Torquay, who were in the same league.
Is it Leroy Rossignol as well?
Yeah. So, and he's another one. So I went up to Torquay, right? I think I hit 4 in 5 or something like that. Yeah. I'm doing well. Next minute, I hear Barry Fry's phoned me because I took Torquay above Peterborough, and Peterborough went in the relegation zone.
Oh, shit.
So Barry Fry's called me, goes, oh, fucking hell, Leon. You've fucking gone there, you've scored goals, you've taken them out of the shit, you've put us in the shit. You need to come back and He goes, you've not been given a chance. I think, well, you're the manager, you're not giving me a chance. So I went back. So obviously they wanted to buy me Torquay, but I think Peterborough wanted 100 grand. And Torquay was like, well, we can't pay that for whatever reason. So I went back to Peterborough, and my first game back, I'm starting now, innit? Yeah. Away to MK Dons, and I hit a sweet one right into the top bin. All right. And I was like, wow. And then Torquay came back in and paid the money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mad.
So I unpacked my house. I packed my house up, unpacked it, and then had to pack it back.
Off down to Devon you go.
Yeah.
Was Bayo your centre forward partner?
Yeah, that's my family, man.
Yeah?
That's my family, man. Love that kid. Love him.
We all love him.
We had such
a ledge, mate.
To be fair, we had such a good strike. We had me, Akin Fenwa, Joe Kafour.
Joe Kafour was decent and all, yeah.
You know, like Lee Cannaville, Tony Beddoe, Alex Russell. Who else was there? Aaron Brown. We had a good team, man.
Yeah.
We had a good team, right? And, you know, Leroy was fine in the beginning, and then all of a sudden he split me and Bayo up. Me and Bayo was doing so well together. Then, he just turned into a bit of an idiot. I ended up falling out with him, where I told him, kept on picking me for yellow jersey all the time.
What's that
like
like?
In training?
Weak link in training?
Yeah, I've never been a yellow jersey trainer. Never. I don't go into football, no matter what's going on, whether I'm playing or whether I'm not playing. I don't come into football and sack it off. I don't. It's never been. I come in and I give 100%. I might have a little moan up after, if you're not in the squad, or you know what I mean, because it's hurtful when you're training well and you're still not in the squad. You know what I mean? Like, it gets you angry. But so this guy's picking me for yellow jersey, and then the boys, at first it was a bit of banter because the boys was laughing, and then after a while it was like, nah, he's actually taking the piss. So one time he picked me for yellow jersey, and I said, mate, listen, he was going to go into a full-sided game. I said, mate, listen, I ended up breaking someone's leg. And he was like, oh, what did you say? I told you, I said, I'm going to break someone's leg. I said, you're taking the piss. So he said, oh, well, you better go in. So I went, well, fuck off then, I'll go in then. So I went in, jumped in the shower, jumped in my car. He's come running up to my car, knocking on the window. Oh, why are you being like this? I said, you're taking the piss. I said, furthermore, I don't want to be here no more. So put me in a transfer. I want out of it. Do you know what I mean? And then put me on the list. Port Vale come in for me. Yet again, a club that I scored against at home and away. So they'd seen something. And I got the call. They come in for me, and I remember packing up my house. I packed up what I could take in the back of my Golf at the time. Left there about 6 a.m. Drove them times no sat nav, so I had all the information on a bit of paper. I'm trying to drive like 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour.
AA directions, one after another.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I end up in Birmingham. So phone the manager's like, where are you? Like, the deadline, you got to sign before 12 o'clock. I think I got there, 5 or 10 minutes to spare, something like that. Went to a hotel. Obviously he said to me to get some rest, but I've been on the road. I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking, shit, I'm gonna have a stinker now because I'm gonna go to the game. I've been up like, how many hours now to go and play. I met all my teammates. Met all my teammates in the dressing room for the first time. Like, I'm like not calling anyone by their name. I'm like, yeah,
mate.
But I ended up scoring the winner and got man of the match. And then it was against Wrexham. So Darren Ferguson, Alex's son, was playing.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the game, Alex Ferguson shook my hand as I was coming up the stairs about to grab my bottle. He shook my hand and went, well done, big man. And I was like, just wow, like this guy, do you know what I mean?
He knows what he's on about.
Man. Yeah, exactly. Most decorated manager. I'm thinking, shit, man. Wow. Like, what a 24 hours I've just had here. Do you know what I mean? And then I went on, I think I scored 12 goals between my loan spell and the January window. And then, when January window come, they signed me permanent. And then from there to the end of the season, I think I hit 12 goals. And then, yeah.
Well, I see a great stat actually that, you scored 18 goals before Christmas.
Yeah, and I would have smashed that. I would have smashed that. But I went and messed around in training. When they told us to go in, I was messing around, one of the boys doing something. And then as I stood, I landed awkwardly and I ended up jarring my knee. And I was out for a month.
Wow. So that would have been a lot more as well.
Yeah. I was just like, it was just, do you know what I mean? The thing is, I was out 3 days a week, drinking and all that kind of stuff. I look at these kids now, nutrition and all this kind of stuff. I feel like, wow, what I've let myself down. But I was happy. I was going at all of the boys at Port Vale. I mean, I work with all of these guys now in the football agency.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all boys and we were boys then and we're boys now. So, yeah, like hit that 18 goals before Christmas and then finished off with 27 in the end.
Unreal, mate. And I see, I'll take hazard a guess that it's probably your favourite of that season. at White Hart Lane, mate.
Oh man, yeah.
As a gooner.
My dad lives behind the football ground, you see. So I listen to their shit songs every time I'm there. Do you know what I mean?
What was that like? Scoring there as a gooner? Like that's got to be tough dreams.
I had about 50 people. I had people from Hoxton. I had people from like my family, like friends who all live in the Tottenham area. Like a lot of them just love to see that someone made it from the hood. So they all came out and man, listen, that I knew I was gonna score though.
Really?
I knew I was gonna score. I don't know what the score was gonna be, but I knew I was gonna score.
You just had that mindset, like...
Yeah, I just knew. Because I was on form, so I just it was just like a matter of when. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get me on the pitch and I'll score. Yeah.
Huh?
Just get me on the pitch and I'll score. I'm in form.
Yeah, and I just it was crazy because I got Defoe's top. One of my friends, he's Defoe's his godbrother, and I asked him if I could have his top. So when he came into the ground, we caught eyes and he was like, yeah, like I got you. So I was like, wicked. But then what happened? Edgar Davids came out the dressing room and I saw Edgar Davids. And I was like,
oh no.
I was like starstruck. I was like, Matt Big. I said, mate, listen, I've grown up my whole career like watching you.
I'd have asked for his glasses.
I think he was wearing them at that time.
Oh no, he weren't actually, was he?
I think he was wearing them at that time.
Yeah, you're right.
And I remember I said to him, mate, listen, it's going to be an absolute pleasure to be on the pitch with you. Like, I said, if it's possible, can I have your shirt? And he was like, well, yeah, but there's only one thing. I was like, he goes, can I have yours? I said, mine? Why do you want mine for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm nobody. Like, do you know what I mean? And he was like, nah, man. He goes, listen, if I give you mine, I want yours. I was like, wow, like, yeah, cool. And then, obviously, the game's going on, we're winning 1-0 up until 82 minutes, and then they decide to bring on flipping Aaron Lennon, Berbatov, and then the rest is history. Right? And then I could hear people asking Davies for his top during the game. And he kept saying, no, he's a big man, big man, big man. So when the game's come to an end now, obviously I've lost the game, but I'm buzzing that I've scored. I've gone to get my top off him, and he's gone, like off the pitch. So I was like, oh man, this guy's binned me off, like, do you know what I mean? And then Defoe has obviously got his top for me. So I've given my top now to, obviously I've taken his top and I've given him mine. So I'm now waving to all my family and friends in the stand, because obviously people are dispersed, but they're all there.
Yeah.
And then the fitness coach came up to me and went to me, yeah, like there's someone waiting for you, like off the pitch there. And I was like, who could be waiting for me? Like, I've already got Defoe's top. It can't be him. None of my teammates are waiting for me. So so I'm walking off the pitch. Edgar Davies is stood in the tunnel with his top in his hand.
Oh fuck.
And I'm coming off the pitch and I have no top on, because I'm just giving it to Defoe.
I'd have grabbed someone else's.
I was like, he was like, big. I said, oh my, I said, big. I didn't think he was gonna give it to me. I'll be honest. I thought you. He goes, no man. I said, I do off the pitch. I was like, yeah, no, but I didn't. Listen, I run inside that dressing room so quick, yeah. Like slipped over. I went to the physio. Get me my spare top now. He was like, I said, get my top now. Like, do you know what I mean? And he rubbed, got the top, and I gave it to him, and he gave me his, and I was like, He was like, listen, well done, big man, you done well. And I was like, thank you so much. You know what I mean?
Fair play to him as well.
That's cool.
Oh, mate, listen, I'll never forget that. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
At least
yeah.
He got a clean one. I know he didn't even get a dirty, sweaty one.
Well, I tell you what, my tops were never sweaty because I was always accused of not doing any running. So
that's fucking immense. You got Defoe and Davids fighting over your shirt. I love it.
Oh, mate, crazy.
Different.
And you know what? You know the wickedest thing? Those two tops are nowhere to be found now.
Is that because they're Tottenham and you binned them?
Nah, not even that. You see, the person I'd rather talk to rather than watch Arsenal.
God.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
When I left, I don't know what she mostly use it to flip in. God knows.
She had any sense, she'd have flogged them.
I can't find them anywhere.
Oh, that's
So
brutal.
they have to be at us.
Oh, mate, that's a sickener.
I know.
I wonder if Davids has still got yours on.
No chance, mate. He mostly flip in. He mostly cut that to use to dry his Bentley. You know what I mean? Put a bit of wax on it, you know.
Brilliant. And like you said, you ended that season with 26 goals there for Port Vale, and then your move came to Leeds United.